Good morning, friends. Welcome to Storytime. I'm so happy you could join me today. Let's start off by singing The More We Get Together. And this time, I'm going to use some sign language. We've done this once before, but it's okay if you don't remember. It goes like this. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. We're gonna sing and sign that one more time, okay? The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. That was a great job, friends. If you didn't sign with me, that's okay, but I sure hope you sung with me. Friends, are you wondering about this thing on my head? If you are, let me explain. Today's story time is all about bees. So I thought I would give myself some antenna, because I'm pretty sure bees have antenna. And I'm wearing a striped shirt, so I thought maybe I'd try to look a little like a bee today. Did it work? Do I look like a bee? What else do bees have? Maybe if we read our book, we'll learn more about bees. So let's get to reading, okay? This book is called The Beeman. It was written by Laurie Krebs and Valeria Sis. This book was donated to our library by Oakland County Farm Bureau. It's promoting accurate agricultural facts. So we want to say thank you to them for letting us read it to you today. This book was published by a different company. They're called Barefoot Books. So we'd also like to say thank you to them. The Beeman. Before we start reading, what do you think a bee-man is? Do you think it's a bee that is a man? Do you think it's a man made of bees? Or do you think maybe it's a superhero called Bee-Man? Let's keep reading and find out. Here is my grandpa, who's known in our town as the Bee-Man. Oh, so Grandpa is known as the Bee-Man. Here is his jacket with zipped up hood that covers his face just the way that it should when he visits his hives as the Bee-Man. All right, so we know that Grandpa is the Bee-Man, and he wears a jacket and a hood that zips up to cover his face. Do we know what a hive is? A hive is where bees live. Here are his gloves made of cotton and leather, protecting his hands in all kinds of weather when he tends to his hives as the Bee-Man. Here is the beehive where all the bees sleep, tucked into a box called a shallow or deep, and then placed on a stand by the Bee-Man. So from what we've learned so far, do you think you might know what a Bee-Man is now? I see bees in their hives in the box. And maybe a Bee-Man is somebody who takes care of the bees. Here is the smoker that calms down the bees, and a hive tool that opens the beehive with ease for a much closer look by the Bee-Man. Here is the queen bee who does her job well and lays tiny eggs in a 6-sided cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's the heart of the hive, says the bee man. And look, there are their antennae. I was right. Here are the drone bees with big bulging eyes and a large appetite supporting their size. They mate with the queen, adds the bee man. Here are the workers, 10,000 or more, who gather the nectar to bring back and store in honeycomb cells for the bee man. So the bees go to the flowers to get nectar. A little trouble with the pages here. There we go. Here are the house bees with swift moving wings that dry up the nectar a worker bee brings, making honey for me and the bee man. Here's the extractor. It's clickety-clack, removing the honey from frames on its rack and filling up jars for the bee man. Here's some of the honey returned to the hive. It's food for the bees to help them survive the long winter days near the bee man. Here are the bees protected from harm inside the hive, all snug and warm, so they'll be here next year, says the bee man. Here is the wagon filled up to the brim with bottles of honey collected by him and brought to the house by the bee man. Here are the muffins, all warm and delicious and dripping with honey on Grandma's best dishes. I'm glad that my grandpa's the bee man. Bees. So this part of the book is all about the bees, friends. Bees belong to the insect family. They have 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 body parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. 2 pairs of wings, 2 antennae, and 2 compound eyes that let them see in all directions. So their eyes are called compound eyes. I wonder if that's what means they, sometimes people draw bees and other insect eyes as like having lots of lines and squares in them. A bee begins as an egg placed in a tiny cell by the queen. The egg hatches into a worm-like creature called a larva. The larva changes to a pupa, and hidden inside a tiny cell, the pupa turns into a bee. When it hatches, the bee is fully grown and ready to be a member of the colony. It takes about 3 weeks to go from an egg to a bee. Bee colonies. Bees live in large groups called colonies. A colony of bees has 1 queen and several hundred drones and tens of thousands of workers. The queen bee has a slender body and is longer than the other bees. She is also the mother of them all. Her job is to lay eggs. In spring's busy season, she lays between 1 and 2,000 eggs every day. Drone bees are male bees. They have huge black eyes and plump bodies. They don't work inside the hive or collect nectar and pollen. They mate with the queen. That means that they help the queen have the eggs. Worker bees are female, and they have many different jobs. Sometimes they feed the larva and tidy up the hive, or they create wax and use it to make new cells. Sometimes they groom the queen and give her a rich protein food called royal jelly. Or they protect the hive from enemies by standing guard at the entrance. Sometimes they leave the hive to gather nectar, pollen, or water. Their job depends on what the colony needs them to do. This part of the book talks all about the different aspects or parts of beekeeping, which is what the bee man was doing. He was beekeeping. So there's the different parts of the hive. There's frames and honeycomb cells. There's a smoker, a hive tool, and an extractor. And this tells you a little bit about honey. Now, honey begins as nectar, which is nectar from the flowers. And the bees collect the nectar, and while they're collecting the nectar, bees also help pollinate our flowers. Pollination is so important because without pollination, flowers don't grow. So when a bee goes to one flower, it gets pollen from that flower, and then it goes to another flower and transfers pollen from this flower to this flower, 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 and so on. It's a super cool thing that bees can do. And then at the end, there's a recipe. So if you want to pause it right here, I can hold this up so it's a little more clear. If you want to pause this and take a picture of this recipe, you can do that. And then you can have a nice yummy recipe for Grandma's apple and honey muffins. All right, that is the end of that story, friends. So again, a huge thank you to the Oakland County Farm Bureau for this book. That was such an interesting book and cool to read about the bee man and beekeeping and bees. Well, friends, what did you think of that story? Did you like learning about beekeeping and bees? I know I did. I think it would be really fun to try beekeeping sometime, or at least see if I could find someone who knew about beekeeping and learn more about it from them. I really like bees. I think they're fun to watch, but sometimes they can be scary. But just remember, bees are more afraid of you than you are of them. Now, let's sing a little song about bees. It goes like this. Here is the beehive, but where are all the bees? Hiding away where nobody sees. Here they come flying out of the hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Buzz up high, buzz down low, buzzing fast and buzzing slow. Buzz to the left, buzz to the right, buzz all day, but sleep at night. What did you think? Should we sing it one more time? Okay. Here is the beehive, but where are all the bees? Hiding away where nobody sees. Here they come flying out of their hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Buzzing up high, buzz down low, buzzing fast and buzzing slow. Buzz to the left, buzz to the right, buzz all day, but sleep at night. Great job, friends. Well, story time is all over now. I had so much fun with you reading about bees and beekeeping, and I hope you're excited to learn more about it. But for now, let's sing Open Shut Them. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Give a little clap, clap, clap. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Put them in your lap, lap, lap. Creep them, creep them, creep them, creep them. Right up to your chin. Open wide your little mouth, but do not let them in. Great job, friends. I'll see you next time for story time. Bye-bye.